and the kings of all crowd. Are you ready? Are you set? Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter, right? Turn it up, y'all, keep it flow. But can you rock it like rocket? What you talking about? Space out your mind. But can you rock it like rockets? That's a close encounter of what kind? Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Turn it up, y'all, keep it flow.
We are sandwiched between Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas, and Arlington at the luxurious AT&T Stadium. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
And the Dallas Cowboys.
Ready? 8, read. Check three.
They'll hand it off to Bush. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
It's a gain of 23 yards.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Let's go, Heavy. Tell me what you got. Heavy? Go.
On the run, it's Bush. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one.
First down, Vikings.
Our game not even 2 minutes old, but a quick red zone opportunity. It's 1st and 10 from the 12. A look at Kerryon Johnson, second-year man out of Auburn. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Tackle made by Whitney Merciless. Now keep in mind, if you're thinking of staying on the ground, this is a top 5 rush defense.
Yeah, but I don't think you shy away totally with the run. At least show them the hint of a run before you decide to throw the football.
Here's Graham to throw it. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Mike Williams, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Here we go. 70, Indy. Hey, let's go. Hey, go. Get the weapon. Switch. Nice.
They'll start off with a give to Lewis. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. This running game so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Ready?
On 3rd down, it's Lewis. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Give him 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big third down pickup to keep their drive alive.
Now a play fake here on first down. On the move to his left. And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. An excellent gain, 35 yards.
On the ready.
First and 10 at the 26-yard line.
Yeah.
Now Lewis here on first down. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And he's got 4 down inside the 20 to the 18.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
80 weapon.
Here's Vereen. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Shane Vereen, his first touchdown on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And
there he goes, left side. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there. 76 yards. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Seeing some pretty good offense here in this first quarter.
It's been a wild start to this quarter, as you noted. And now with that lead that we're seeing, can they retaliate? I get the sense this one's going to go back and forth all game long.
And that probably won't be the last long touchdown that we see in this one. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Got it.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in. But I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Palmer now. He sets to fire deep. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Play action. It's Palmer. And that is incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. There, this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
Now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. They'll throw on 1st down with Graham. Deep ball for Goodwin. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
On 2nd down, it's Bush. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down, then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
On 3rd down, here's Graham. And the throw there going to be incomplete. On 4th down, on is Logan Cook to punt. He gets this away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. Now this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
A 2nd down run with Lewis. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Palmer now to throw on 3rd down. That's complete to Lurgent. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. It was 3rd and short, and they go flying past the marker for a gain of nearly 30 yards. They go play action with Palmer. On the crossing route, that's complete to Clark. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. The end result, 21 yards.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Here's Palmer. He completes it to Boyd. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. A good pickup there, 21 yards. On the toss, Vereen. They'll get this down inside the 10 for a pickup of about 3.
I like the call. Inside the red zone running the toss. Why? They want to get to the edges. They want to see if guys who don't normally make a lot of tackles are willing to actually do that. That usually means the guy's in the cornerback position.
go.
On second down now, it's Lewis. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
3-pound, 132 fighter. Mike 52. Watch the screen,
On third down, it's Lewis. And he'll be brought down well short of the first at about the 9-yard line. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Of course, the door for Maher was opened after a little bit of a surprise move. The Cowboys letting go of Dan Bailey last year.
Yeah, Maher took over in the preseason. He's from Nebraska via the Canadian Football League where he kicked for 4 years. And I saw him personally make 2 game-winning field goals last season against Detroit and in Atlanta.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive.
61, matchbox, right. Ready?
On second down, it's Bush. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to third down. 2 yards on the first down carry, and then followed up by 2 yards on the second down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on third down to keep the drive going. Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. Second quarter action, 1:56 remaining. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away.
The Cowboys take over first down at their own 25-yard line.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
We want it. Come to my world. Shit. 80 weapon. Speed grip.
Now Lewis. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 11 yards and a Cowboy first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And now here's a deep shot that's complete. A very solid gain of 27.
There's so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple. On the run, here's Marine. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
18 Gator.
First and 10 with the 27-yard line.
Let's go. Jim. Jam. Blue draw focus. 51 the mic, boy, 51. I don't even know why this team showed up.
On 1st and 10, it's Palmer. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
2nd and 10 now from the 27. Vereen, toss play. And Vereen, sure-handed as he is, he lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. 12 yards there. 1st down, Vikings. Well, he's broken off some big-time runs here in this first half.
Yeah, and let's just face it. When you go into a game, you think you've got the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises, and he's running with terrific ability right now.
Graham will throw. This is caught. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. A good pick up there of 20 yards. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find some.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great play there as the first half is winding down. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes it a 21-10 game. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But this is
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. On 3rd down, Palmer. And that will be incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. So this is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Protein spill. Go.
Now Graham. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
It's 3rd down and 7 yards to go.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. 3rd down from the gun, Graham. Buying time to his left. He's got a man, complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
Set, ready? 18, Gator. Let's go, B, let's go.
A give, this is Bush. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
You can't block me. You can't block me. You can't block me. 51, Mike. Mike 51. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And here we go again.
Ready?
On 2nd down, Graham. Flush to his right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. This is caught at the 20. They'll get 34 yards there.
Let's go.
Well, make that now 2 completions for him on this drive, and these aren't ordinary completions. They're big ones.
Yeah, these are the types that make a secondary talk to each other and not in a good way. Oftentimes pointing fingers. Hey, who's got it? Someone cover it. That type of indecision can open up to even more big plays.
They'll run on 1st down. Bush. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there with his 3rd touchdown and 18th on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. Fielded about a yard deep. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
To throw is Palmer. Going underneath for Lewis. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a third down.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Now Palmer to throw. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
This is Bush. He's going to have the first down past the 20. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. Past the 20. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. 94 yards. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive. As they score here, especially a touchdown, it's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
He's going to fire one deep, middle of the... It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A.J. Green, his 6th touchdown of the season as his guys continue to pour it on. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. Fielded about a yard deep. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Back now in Arlington. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Palmer will throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense, I got it.
See what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. That's into the hands of the tight end, Ellison.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 10. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions. But the game, certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. Now a man open down the middle of the field. Touchdown, Vikings! A.J. Green, an 80-yard touchdown as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Again, it's Lewis. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage.
On the ball. Watch the whip. Check 52 at the mic.
From the gun, it's Palmer. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. On 2nd down now, it's Lewis. Oh, and Lewis lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And a return across midfield and to the 46-yard line.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
On 1st down, it's Bush, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. They'll go again with Bush. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The Vikings on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Now Graham to throw. And he can only manage to get this to the 45-yard line. Well short of the first. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down. Here's Logan Cook now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. And he puts a little something extra into this one, by far his best of the night.
The Cowboys take over first and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 11 yards and a Cowboy 1st down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Michael Bennett, the former Texas A&M Aggie, dropping the hammer. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line. The rookie was trying to push it downfield, but the safety bit him.
And he'll learn that you have to hold the safety. And you do that with your head movement, your eyes, sometimes your shoulders. Hold the safety so that you can get back to the throw that you really want to make. He got so excited thinking his guy was open that he made it easy.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, this is exactly where I expect teams to take a shot. Right after a turnover, you count on the defense being a little bit jumbled coming out on the field, maybe catch them back on their heels, and that's exactly what they did there. They threw it downfield and really created a big play.
Yeah, you said jumbled. They were the definition of jumbled defensively. One play and into the end zone.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Play action. Now Palmer. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Vikings, the great run they've been on continues as they move to 9-1 now. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, it's their first stumble of the season as they'll dip to 8-1 on the year. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel up to Detroit to take on the Lions. I'm Brandon Gaudin.